Love it. Love it. Hey, Sierra, come on up.
Check us out on YouTube. If you not, make sure you scroll to the top and hit that link. Put that link up there, please, Allie. Mike, 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 Mike. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway Podcast. Greetings and salutations to you all. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway Podcast, where the situations matter more than the relationships. Perspectives will be respected by everybody. I'm talking about if this is your first time tapping in, don't be easily threatened or angered because much like you, every giant here first started off as a perfect stranger. We asked everybody tap in with what we doing on Clubhouse, Live on Broadway Podcast, YouTube, Broadway the Giant. On Instagram, I am _Broadway. Tap in with us. Greetings and salutations to you all. Oh, man, it's been a little while since we've been around. So, we're going to talk about some things or two or thrry because, and I got to stand in front of some things myself this evening because, respectfully, y'all know me. I'm big on accountability. If you're new to the platform, my name is Broadway the Giant. I'm an accountability coach. I like to make people stand in front of the hard work, the real work. I don't like to only cape or side for women or men. I like to be even toned, as I like to describe it as. And I like to more so also be do the hard work, right? It's hard for people to a lot of times hold themselves accountable, especially when it's personal, right? And sometimes we can be doing things for a very long time and become stuck in that and use that as rhyme and reason to justify what we're doing. Doesn't make it right, but it means that, we just become so stuck in our ways. We was gone for a little bit, season 5 had concluded and it was good energy, I'm just coming off top, and I got to stand in front of the Tory and Meg thing. Broadway was totally wrong. He got it totally wrong, and Tory did that shit, man. Tory did it. Tory got convicted. Tory did it. I was trusting the legal system. I thought it was going to go another way, to be honest with you guys, but it didn't go the way that I thought that it would. And in this situation, got to trust the legal system and trust that, it ran its course and it did what it was supposed to do, And I said earlier on when the thing first happened that once it all plays out, if Tory's convicted in a legal court in a court of law, I'll stand in front of it. So respectfully, this is Broadway walking it back. Allison, hello, D, you there? Anybody home? Real hot girl-ish.
I'm just letting you eat the crow.
We want to do a few things a little bit different this evening, and I'll get to that shortly. But just a update as to what's been going on in Broadway life before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about this evening. It's been, I think a lot of times, when you go through things, life has a way of working itself out, right? And life has a way of life in at times. For me, during the hiatus, New Year's Eve, my aunt passed away, right? I want to dedicate this podcast to my aunt. She was somebody that raised me, someone that's very close and dear to me, somebody that I held in high regard, and it didn't go in the way, it went bad, So I'm just grateful and thankful to God that it happened on our season off. And we would have been back a lot sooner. But, I wanted to make sure I had the wind beneath my feet before I was actually able to come out here and pod with you guys, right? I think sometimes we forget or people forget that we're actually real people when we're doing these podcasts and we standing in front of the mic and we, talking with the people and we having a good conversation, So from that, things got a little bit spicy, and a lot's been going on in family and politics and usuals and so forth and so on. Ali, how was your time more from the pot?
Oh wow. It's been good. I mean, I did a lot of things. I did a lot of self-reflection. Got some things done, some personal things done. I was on vacation for about 2 weeks. So I cannot complain one bit. I'm in a really good space and I'm happy to get back to work. I kind of missed y'all.
Oh, look at
I kind of
you.
missed y'all. I missed the Monday chaos and getting everything in order and talking to the people and but let's not mistake. I was working behind the scenes,
Hmm.
getting some amazing subjects and just doing my research, so to speak.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'm excited to see what season 6 has to bring us. Yeah.
Hey, listen, season six, right? Season six. Um, personally, personally, there's been, and we're gonna talk about it more. But there's been some amazing things happening behind the scenes. This season, a lot of it will take place, and so just to give you a quick backstory, we opened in an event space, right? And we is in the way of and the podcast is going to be hosted, and there's going to be a special section for the podcast in our event space. Oh man, and I'm excited to do that because we're not talking about 1 or 2 thousand. We're talking about 5,000 square feet. Put some respect on that. Hello, wake that up. So I'm excited about that. I'm very excited to actually bring you guys into the city. If you in New York City, tri-state area, Jersey, make sure you guys tap in, and that's going to be a big deal because we're going to open it up and allow people to actually come in and enjoy the podcast live and direct. Shout out to Nell. I see you. Shout out to Storm. We got the Giants with us on YouTube, on Instagram. I see you. Tracy, I see you. Terica, what up, though? What up, Lolo? I see you guys on YouTube. Tap in with us. Where do I begin? Man. It's funny because during the research of this pod and topic that we're about to get into, I did my Googles. And inside of doing my Googles, it looked kind of funny, and I was confused. I was confused on a few things because I accidentally wasn't looking for this. Figured out why women like men in suits. I figured it out. Ladies, can you tell us why? Or excuse me, men, can you tell us why ladies like men in suits?
Cause it's sexy.
That's what they always say. Wait until I tell you this. Um, uh, Doc, can you tell us why you think women like men in suits?
I would say it's more about being distinguished, portrays an image of success
Mm,
and things like that. So that's what the first thing that pops in my mind. It's about the image and what they try to portray.
mm. Okay. Okay. D don't, I never seen D in a suit. D, do you know why women wear suits? Hello, D? You buy your mic? Okay.
because they want to be like men when they grow up.
Now women wanting to be like men. Okay. Okay. Storm, talk to me, Quaint.
So when I see a man in a suit, it resonates to me responsible,
Mm.
or someone that has not really their ducks in a row, but pretty much their ducks in a row. I see a man that's probably after his business, accountable for his time, things of that nature,
Mm.
and that is a turn on.
It is a turn on. So this is gonna sound far fetched, but what do you think come up when you Google what does a black good man look like?
Okay, say that one more time.
What do you think shows up when you Google what does a black good man look like? Allison, I'm coming to you first because Allison be Googling stuff. Allison, hello? Are you there?
Oh my Lord. Let me Google right now.
No, no, don't Google it. Just tell me what you think. What do you think shows up when you Google what does a black good man look like?
A man in a suit.
I thought
A
so
man.
too.
Yeah.
I thought so too, right? But that showed up, but what also showed up, right? And I was perturbed by this, and trust me, it's gonna tie in a moment, right? It was men in suits and trans men. Hello, the fuck? I mean,
The
Huh?
fuck?
right, right. It was, yeah. Uh-huh. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. So it made me start thinking is trust me, this is gonna go in a lot of different directions.
Did
It
you
may
say transmit?
trans men, like men that's like dressed as women, but they like this is what a good black man looks like, according to Google.
That's a gender
I'm just
setting.
I'm just saying hey, listen, if you type in a beautiful woman, what you think is gonna show up? A lot of models, right? Like I would think so, generally speaking. So when you type in what does a good black man look like? Like men in suits, like men in those like shirts, those like long sleeve shirts, like 3 buttons on them, so it's like a sweatshirt. Men in suits and so forth and so on, right? But that got me thinking, and y'all know how we do on the platform. I'm going to play a few videos, and I'm going to get you guys to react to them. And this season, we're not. This season is going to be solution based, right? We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but as DNI and others alike in these spaces that we frequent, and there's so many times people speak about the problem, right? What black women is doing, what black men aren't doing, what black women aren't doing, right? But very few and far in between. We don't actually get solutions from individuals that's very skilled and knowledgeable in these spaces, right? So we're gonna do our hardest. We're gonna work our hardest and do our darndest to bring you guys the content that's don't only create viral moments, but also is solution based. You get what I mean? Because I think that it's very easy to sit around and point the finger, right? And you know me in my personal life, I don't like to point something out if I can't fix it, right? Don't tell me you don't like my shoes if you ain't gonna buy me no new ones. You get me? So we want to tap in and we're gonna talk about a few things. You know, we got Dr. Lene up here, we got Lundria, we got a Storm, DWI, we got the Giants, we got Terica, we got Ali, we got some people up here. The Giants, we got the collectors at Quell. I see you. You get me? And we're gonna talk about some things. If you want to join the pod by way of Instagram, hit the button. I'm gonna bring you guys up. YouTube Giants, tap in, hit that like button on YouTube, and show your social currency. I appreciate everybody tapping in live on Broadway Podcast. Check it out.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
We will talk our out.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean like he's good. That means all around. That means him.
Hold on, let's pause that for a second. Shorty said, baby girl says she don't think being a good man is enough to be in a relationship. A good man isn't enough to be in a relationship. Tap in how you guys feel about that. Let's walk this dog slow. Let's walk this pony. Is being a good man good enough to be in a relationship? Let's do it. Tap in with us. We're gonna start with you, DWI. D, are you by your mic? All right, D not by his mic.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, cool. Is being a good man good man good enough to be in a relationship? Is that enough? Is being good?
Well, first of all,
Tap in.
we gotta define what is a good man, and then second of all, who is the gatekeeper, or gatekeepers determining who deserves and who deserves not to be in a relationship? Because it cannot just be another woman or a group of another women or whoever, because that is an individual person's decision to make. I believe anyway.
All right, so let's start from there. What do you think the definition of a good man is?
Well, first you gotta define good, and then you gotta define man, and then you somewhere in the middle of that. you might be able to come close to whatever it makes sense. I don't know anymore, bro. I don't really. This is a good question for me because I'm at that point where I was trying to do something and now I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm just like I'm good.
Oh,
I'm a good man.
Hey,
Damn it, I'll be good by myself.
can I answer that?
go for it, Doc.
So I think being a good man, is it good enough? The question is the
Wait, what happened?
We lost him. He'll probably dial back in.
No. Somebody probably tried to mod him, and come back up, King. Somebody probably tried to mod him, and yeah.
what I was saying was like being a good man can only be defined by an individual what's good for them.
Uh huh.
Everyone, you could be a good man. For me, the number one thing of being a good man is being a man with purpose, and that is the key for everything. Now,
Mm.
you could be a man of purpose. You could be a man of purpose, but yet you don't. Your purpose doesn't align with that man.
Mm.
So just because he's a good man, he just may not be good for you. And that's fine. And that's okay. It doesn't take away anything from that man. He's just a good man, but he's good for someone else. Purpose is a big thing in being a good man. You have a purpose, and every woman should have their own purpose and seeing how they align with that man's purpose. And that's how the matches is really a good match is really made. You could again, you could have your purpose and it doesn't align with that man's purpose. That man could be a good man because he has a purpose. He just doesn't fit your alignment and what you're looking for.
Mm. Tap in, tap in. I love that. I love that. Tap in. We got Aquel up here on Instagram. Tap in with us, Aquel. One time. Greetings, King.
I would say, man, at the end of the day, and I'm gonna say Happy New Year. This is the first time me speaking to you,
Yeah, happy New
um,
Year's to you.
and I would just say that a lot of times we don't have an appreciation of people. It's when we talk about good people, uh, I just think it just means you being honest with someone and giving them the best that you got, and that person giving you the best that they got. And I don't think a lot of times I think people go in the relationships half-hearted and half-assed, looking at what they can get from somebody and looking what they can get over on somebody.
Fuck yeah.
So so they're not going in it. They're not going in it as they say in good faith.
Mm. Say that. Say that. So what you saying is that they're not complete, right? They need their own thing together. Get your thing together before you step into a relationship, because how can you quantify as good if you're not whole?
Right, and I mean, or just be honest about what you really want from somebody.
Mm.
I think that's the biggest thing is that sometimes, especially sometimes, as what I've learned with myself is that when I in the past I wasn't being honest with myself about what I wanted from somebody. Like I
Mm.
would tell somebody I wanted one person, but in my heart I wanted to be with more than one person.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
instead of me saying I want to be with more than one person, I'm trying to keep this one good person around because I don't want to lose them and I don't want to be alone.
Wow.
So we just got to learn to be honest,
We
man.
gotta
We
let
just got
that
to learn to
breathe
be
for a
honest
second.
with
We gotta let that
one
breathe for a second, man, because that's powerful. That's powerful. You ain't want
But
to
can I say something right on top of that too?
go for it.
That I think is important to what he just said. I think when people do explain what they want and where they are in life, despite what someone else might want, I think some people just really need to just take that for what it is and stop feeling like everybody is, beneath or not ready for what they are, so that they're not worthy of them. That just means that what you are looking for right now, I'm telling you that I'm not all the way there with it. It may look like it, or you might feel like that's what you want, where you want me to be. But if I specifically didn't give you no reason to believe that we was doing anything outside of spending time and just being around each other, then it should be no other reason why
Mhm.
we keep having this conversation about anything else outside of spending the time. You're not handcuffed here. Nobody's trying to keep you here.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll get women that come, oh, you led me on, you made me believe this, and then other women will come off their mics and be like, yeah, when you shouldn't have gave her sex, and then like I shouldn't have gave her sex. Now that made her like my prisoner now. Like, come on now, like let's be adults.
Well, they say
Like,
that because obviously, women are emotional, are emotion
I don't
based.
believe that because I
Okay,
heard them say
tell
they're
me
not,
more.
so they don't get that pass no more.
Wow. So women
I
don't get
heard
the
too many of
pass of
them say
being
that.
okay.
Nah, I
Yo, so bro,
disagree. I
I can jump in.
disagree.
Go
I
for it,
can
King.
jump in, Kings. What's up, family? Long time no see. I love y'all. Sammy, Penny, big up on the South. Allison, you see me? So yo, could you rephrase the question, or could you say the question again so I
So
can answer it correctly?
so we're having a conversation about, is being a good man enough? Right? Is being a good man enough? I'm gonna play this clip a few times, and because I want you guys to get it in just, you guys want to see it the way it's intended to be seen, go to my YouTube, hit the link up top, tap in, Live on Broadway podcast. I got you, Jarvis. Give me 1 second.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
We
but
will talk our out.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough.
She says she don't think being a good man is enough. There's more to this, but I want to walk this dog slow. So Jarvis, one mic on you. Is being a good man enough to be in a relationship?
Yo, I feel like in the metaverse and then in reality is two different worlds, because you will get on this in these metaverse rooms and have these conversations, and I think people are just like, the podcast world, the YouTube world, it's just a weird world, because I'm yesterday I was having a conversation with some young ladies, and they told me that being financially secure is not enough anymore in today's time, because women make their own money now. So what else do you bring to the table? So it's like the conversation the goalpost has moved now. So all right, we're gonna simplify it to being a good man, right?
Sure.
And that's not enough. So I feel like you got to be emotionally intelligent. You have to be emotionally available. You have to be the modern, like, there's no more gender specific roles. You got to wash dishes, change diapers, like the standard for what you no longer coming with the bare minimum. You feel me? You gotta excel just to be the standard now. Me personally, go ahead. Somebody wanted to interject.
Nah, go
Yeah, I was
ahead.
just gonna.
I'm
Oh, go
gonna go when you land. I like to tap in.
All right. So the question says, you being a good man is not good enough. I think that's cap, because once again, there's a shortage of good men. It's not a bunch of good men around. Like, good. There's a lot of men that's in jail. There's a lot of men that's gay. There's a lot of men that's not gainfully employed. There's a lot of men that are abusive. There's not a bunch of black men walking around that's lit. So when you get a good man, you need to thank God and praise your higher power. And I park.
Wow.
but I think people's bar though. It depends on. I agree with what the other brother was saying. It depends on what someone's standards are, because I think these conversations kind of go down like a wormhole, because what's good for me may not be good for somebody else. I think a lot of times we conflate a lot of things. We try to combine a whole bunch of stuff instead of finding out, okay, what do I need in my life? What do I expect? What are my expectations for somebody? Instead of trying to combine my expectations with Broadway's expectations, with every other brother's expectations, what do I need from somebody, and how can they be that for me? Like, I think that's where we need to start at, because I think it starts to get a little bit conflated, and it goes into a gender war when we start making these broad statements and not saying, all right, well, what do I need in my life, and how can I get it?
I think
What up, Dupreme? Greetings and salutations
peace.
to you,
Yo,
beloved.
peace to everybody. Pardon my rudeness. Peace to everybody. Hey, what up? What up, y'all? What up, boy?
Just
What
to
up,
tap
C?
in real quick, I got you, Dupreme. We're having a conversation about is being a good man enough to be in a relationship, right? We gonna listen. I promise you, you guys gonna leave here with something more than what you came with because I want to get it from both men and women alike. You know, because I hear a lot of men speaking on it, and I'm gonna throw it to you, Dupreme. But I want to really hear from the women, right? Because women are the ones that has to be with us. Right. So as much as your mom may tell you, yeah, boy, you handsome, or yeah, baby, you're gorgeous, it don't count for enough when it's your mom. Just as much as it don't count for enough as not saying that it's not important. I'm saying men, we are self-proclaiming what we identify a good man as. But I definitely want to hear from the women. Tap in with us, Dupree.
I'm gonna attack this topic from a standpoint of, I guess, being that it's a woman that said that, then I'm gonna put myself from her perspective, in her perspective, why she would say that. And I wonder why a woman would say that, right? Or would think that a good man is not enough. Basically, what she's saying is that she doesn't value a good man. She values the things in men that are not really beneficial to
Come
her.
on now.
You know what I'm saying? See, she bad. She like a good man. Hey, listen, man. I always say I don't know, like how what other people's experiences are, but I know when I move out here in real life, I'm respected, man. I know when I enter spaces, I know how I move around. I know people that don't even know me. I know wherever I'm at, how I'm moving. I'm afforded a certain level of respect, right? And so therefore, that's the manifestation of just being a good dude, being a good man, being a stand-up person, showing respect to people, knowing how to
Yeah.
operate it, right? So if a woman doesn't want that and she would rather some dude that's just, whatever, and she's just a notch on his belt, or she's just a part of what comes with, the whole imagery. You know what I'm saying? He don't really care about her. Be like, yeah, okay, she fit this look. I'm gonna put her on and keep her around. Women don't benefit from that type of experience, and they need to realize that. And so I really don't care if they don't like a good dude. I'm still gonna be who I am, and I suggest all men do the same. Be who you are, black man. Don't conform to none of that. None of that nonsense.
Wow. Wow. So YouTube, I put in the chat. Is being a good man enough? Yes or no? I started a poll on YouTube. I want to get it from you guys. Tap in them comments. Everybody that's in this room, hit that link up top and hit that like button. Show your social currency. We appreciate it. Sammy the Bull Gravani. Tap in with us, Sammy.
Hey, Broadway.
What's happening with you, Queen? Long time.
I know work and the kids. I'm good.
That's what being a good mom is about, right? Like a good neighbor, Sammy is there. Tap in with us, Queen. How you feel? Is being a good man enough to be in a relationship?
I think it should be. I mean, if you're not out there disrespecting your girl and nobody's coming back and saying anything to you, then how you present yourself outside is very important. Yeah.
So real quick, right? I like what D said. So let me give you the mic. Let me give the mic to you with this question. What's a good man? How do you identify one?
I think it's his character, his integrity, what he does for a living, how he treats his mother and women around him.
Do
It's
you
a lot.
do you know what shows up when you Google what does a good black man look like?
What shows up?
Men with suits, sweatshirts with 3 buttons, and trans men.
Oh my God.
You can't make this shit up. You can't. I'm just saying, like, is this what they have identified us as? Shout out to the collectors on YouTube. He put up and he said, well, Broadway, don't forget who owned Google. Hello?
Bro, I did thought you was gonna say you. I was just seeing the punchline. I was like, oh, he about to hit her with it.
No,
Right?
I wish Broadway Face showed up as a good man, right? It does, but it's just not in y'all Google search, right? But I find that very intriguing, and that happened by accident. That this is what, going back to D's question, well, first we got to define what good is, and then you got to define what a man is, right? So, do you mean to tell me that when you Google what does a black good man look like? You mean to tell me men with suit, right? And then, safe looking men, and then trans men. And it made me think that, wow, is this why women like men with suits? Because they feel safe, right? They feel not a sense of necessarily protected, but they feel a sense of, excuse me, not suits. I'm saying that wrong. Is this why women are okay with, and I'm not, this isn't about being gay or anything. I'm just saying that women, I think you find more women that's cool with gay men or trans or the LGBTQ plus community than you would find men, right? I got some gay dope people in my life. I know some gay dope people, so this ain't that. But what I'm saying is this what we've been reduced? I don't want to say reduced. Is this how we've began to become identified as, right? As being, in order to be identified as a good black man, you gotta look a certain way. And I think a good black man could have on a jogging suit. He could have on, he can have on a pair of J's. How do a good man look?
How does a good man look?
You know what I'm saying? So continue on, please. Sammy,
No,
I took your mic from you.
sorry. No, a good man is definitely one who knows how to put himself together too. Like knows his size, his measurement, and knows how to put on the suit and wear well. But I think
Sammy,
when a what?
a good woman knows a man's size as well.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm just pulling your leg. Go for it, quick.
No, but I think that what the lady was saying in the clip was that being a good man is not enough. Then I don't know what trauma she's been through, why that would not be enough for her. And sometimes are we talking about that's boring now? Are we saying that he's such a good man and he does what a man is supposed to do? I've never seen that before. Are we labeling them as simps now? Is that not exciting? Do you need somebody to call your phone at night so the whole hey Shirley situation? Like, what is it that she's been through that she can't even identify, that sometimes peace is really more priceless than anything? I don't want to be in no relationship where I have to worry about my man being in and out the streets, or he's 1 foot in corporate, 1 foot in the street, and I don't know what time he's coming home. Like, it's a whole bunch of things that correlate with a good man. Like, a good man knows when to have his guy night, come home at a certain time, make sure his kids, if he has children, that they're good and that bills are paid. If that's boring to you and that's not enough, then that's just a damn shame. At this stage in the game, like we in 2023, peace has to be the focal point of your life. And if not, then that's just sad.
One time. I appreciate that, Sammy. I definitely appreciate that. One time. Shout out to Tracy for the super chat on YouTube. I appreciate it. Let's wake this up a little bit. I got Tiff the model up here on Instagram. I'm going to bring her up. But before I do, shout out to you, Tiff. Before I get your commentary on this topic, I think too, on the back of what you said, Sammy, when we're talking about what a good man is, in order to understand, a good man may look like something different too, depending on the woman, right? So a good man might look like look at Krishan, right? In Blueface. I'm pretty sure she's with him. So there's probably more good than she sees in him than bad, right? And we may look at it from the outside looking in and view it to be toxic AF, right? So I think when we're talking about quantifying what a good man is, we got to quantify first what a good woman is, right? And we're not going there. I'm just saying that a good man is defined often by the person that's viewing him, right? And if I'm looking at a man to be, if you're a woman and you're looking at a man, if I'm a man, I'm saying this crazy. If I'm a man and I'm looking at a woman to be with her, and I'm trying to identify or quantify, is she a good woman? That first starts with me being the opposite sex that's attracted to her. Tap in with me, Tiff. We're having a conversation about, is being a good man enough to be with in a relationship? Tap in with us, Tiff. Greetings, Queen.
Hey, how are you? Long time.
Hey, how you feel?
I am good, thank you. Listen, I popped in here like, what he talking about tonight? And to answer the question, in my opinion, yes, being a good man is enough. But again, that depends on the woman and what she's looking for, right? It depends on what she see in that man that is enough for her. Every good man don't look the same. Every good man don't dress the same, don't have the same career, don't have the same, mindset. So you can't put a good man in a box and say, this is, all a good man is only right here in this box. So again, it all depends on the woman and what she sees and what she wants, and what her level of what a good man is. And it's not always financial or, or I don't know, the type of job he has,
So
That's what.
go for it, D.
So that's what I'm saying. The standard is not one side or one size fits all, and it's definitely you have to be able to interpret, like, for each person what good is. Some people don't know what good is or what it feels like to be treated good. So how could they pass judgment on who's good? Like how we talk about who's beautiful and who's not, and we say it's in the eye of the beholder. It's crazy out here. I don't know, bro. This is gonna be a long night.
Yeah, and then I
I think the word is self.
Where are you at?
Go for it.
I think that you can't. Now let's get out the conversation in terms of, there's a difference between a well-dressed man and a good man.
Sure.
You could be well-dressed, doesn't necessarily mean you're a good man.
Exactly.
So a good man, has his values in place, and then goes back to the purpose statement that I said before. As a good man is a man that's a purpose. A man without a purpose is a man in wilderness, and he can't expect individuals to follow them. So you just, we could take out what a good man looks like, because there's no such thing as what a good man looks like. Because a good man you could be dressed up, you could portray a certain image, doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good man. You could walk in the door looking like a good man, but then we have to follow your character, who you are, what your values are, what your ethics are, things like that, and standing and being a man of your word. That backs up that you're a good man. It doesn't matter. You could be in some Tim's t-shirt and jeans. You could still be a good man,
and you can still be a good man.
Yeah. So you can't focus on what that person looks like. So let's get away from that topic, because that's a long topic and it'll just go down a whole bunch of rabbit holes. We just need to focus on who that person, that character of that person. That's what makes a good man.
Would you guys generally agree? Hold on 1 second, Aquil. Would you guys generally agree with that? Because I'm feeling that. It's deeper than just what he looks like. It's about how he presents himself inside out. Aquil?
Yep. Yeah, so I was just going to say, to piggyback off that, was a lot of times we associate good men with a certain look and all this other stuff, and sometimes you find in this space that it be dudes that be financially doing good, but they don't have no personality. They don't have anything else to draw the woman to them. Where that, I think that's where some of the boring part comes in, where people focus so much on the outside, and you ain't even really got nothing on the inside to offer anybody. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really got nothing to really draw and keep your woman interested in you. You just a dude with some money.
So look, you said something about personality, right? Let me play the rest of this clip, because I think it's important to understand where these young ladies are coming from. Tap in with us, live on Broadway podcast. Check it out.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
we will talk.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough. to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean like he's good. That means all around. That means himself, spiritually, mentally, physically.
That's great.
Healthily, like he's a good man.
That doesn't mean that he's the man for you. And maybe when you're going through these motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like, he could be funny, but he's not funny to me.
And that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man, because he's a good man.
Hold on. She cooking. Hold on 1 second.
And no man, because he's
a
and that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man, because he's a good man, but because he's not funny, you gotta throw that out.
Wow. Just wow. Tap in with us. What up, Kev Pryor? What up, Tiff? You guys heard the clip. Tap in with us. How you guys feel? I mean, this is why she said you're quantifying a good man based off of saying sometimes he could have financial stability. His personality might be trash, right? And then she said, well, this is why you pretty much become 40 plus and you got 4 different kids just running around out here because you don't know how to identify a good man. Tap in. How you guys feel about it?
I think you can be can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can be a good man or a good person, like loyal and all of that, and be irresponsible at the same time. So that's kind of how I look at it. Like when I hear someone saying like a good woman or a good man is not enough, like that's like the foundation, right? That's like included already. Like you should just be a good person as a single person, right? But it don't necessarily mean you will be a good person to be in a relationship, right? To take care of another person.
Well,
so I kind of look at it from that aspect. Like being a good man is not enough because you also have to be responsible on top of being a good man, right? So what if he's a good man and he's loyal, right? But he's not responsible.
So wait,
so I kind of looked at it like that.
Yeah, no, all right. So Shanae, shout out to you, Shanae. Appreciate the commentary, right? And thanks for joining the platform. You started off a second ago by saying, he can have money. And I think you said he can be responsible in regards to taking care of his bills, so forth and so on. But he could still not be a good man, right? When I think of a good man, I think of someone who's purposeful, somebody who has discipline, someone who considers others, who's empathetic, someone who puts themselves, I'm not gonna say last, but they definitely consider someone else before themselves. And these are all things that pretty much revolves around moving without the ball, right? That's not just based on how they look, right? Because how you look is how you're perceived on the outside. Everybody mute up real quick. All right, I got it. It's not all the time how you look on the outside, right? How you look on the outside is one thing, but also how you speak, right? Then your character comes into play. This is why I personally don't get myself involved in relationships until it's a significant amount of time, because you don't really have an understanding of who a person is. Shit, God damn it, the way shit that hasn't worked for me neither. But anyway, easy off of Broadway. Throw it to you, Tiff. Tap in with me.
I completely agree with everything you just said. Like from my first comment, a good man he comes in different forms. You can't go by how he look. You really can't. You have to go by, the man himself, how he treats you, and like someone mentioned earlier, how they treat their mother, their sister. It all comes from the person himself. It's not about what he look like, how he dress, or anything like that.
So just on top of the mother piece, right? The mother, the siblings. Can you really tell, like how? Because I hear that a lot, and I just in my head, right? This is ISO on you, Tiff. I hear that. But I kind of feel as though how a man treats his mom may be good, but respectfully, you ain't his mom, right? And not saying not saying you in particular, but just saying as a whole, right? Queen, that just pulled up. Can you just mute your mic until you're ready to speak, Queen? Please, thank you. When we're talking about, you know, how a man treats his mom, how a man treats his siblings, I don't think, or vice versa for women, but we on men, right? I don't think
Okay,
that's a
well, I
good.
can answer that.
Go
I
for
can
it.
answer that just from my own experience, okay, in dating. I have dealt with someone who didn't have the best relationship with his family, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, me, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, whatever he go through with his family is what he go through with his family. But overall, he treated me the same way. But you know, I didn't see it, and I was young and didn't know any better, right? So now, when I started to date my husband per se, when I started dating him, I met his family. I met his mother. I met his sister, and I already see the dynamic and how he treats his family. And so, yes, you're right. A person can treat their mother a certain way because that's their mom, and that don't mean he's going to treat you that way. But I can't see a man having the utmost respect for his mother, and then will treat someone else's mother like shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, regardless, even though I'm not his mother, I'm someone's mother,
You're someone's mother,
or I'm potentially someone's mother. You know, so I can't see a man having respect for his mother and respect for women overall, and don't have respect for me, and he's dating me. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just take all of that into consideration. Granted, everybody don't have great relationships with their parents because who knows how they was raised. I mean, you got to take that in consideration as well. I'm just talking about overall someone that has a parent in their life and they do go see them, visit them, whatever, or however they interact with them. You have to take it into account if you're dating that person and you see how they interact with their family. Because ultimately, you may have a family with him, you know, and you got to think about that. You can't sit back and say, oh, well, Dad, you know, I ignored those red flags when I see how he treated his mom and his sister, and then you wonder why he treats you and his kids this way. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take it into account.
Love that.
And also, you don't want to. I don't want a mama's boy either. So you got to just take all that into account. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just got to see what is given, and that's it.
Love that. Love that. Welcome to the stage, Diva, Queen Diva. How you feeling, Queen?
Good evening, beautiful people. How y'all doing?
We're doing great, blessed and highly favored. I want to get it from you, Queen. Is being a good man enough to be in a relationship?
No, it's not. Well, okay.
Tell me more.
Being a good man. Okay, so being a good man is simply just being a good human. So it's something you should automatically be. He just so happens to be a man. Now, it depends on the relationship. Like, if he's not compatible, you have to have compatibility in order for you to be the right man for the right woman. You know, so in my case, it'd be like a good man. One, does he even know the Lord? Does he know how to treat people? Is he good to people he's getting nothing from? You know, where are we compatible? Does he know how to? Is he good with his mom? Does he take care of his children? How is he moving? His character determines whether or not he will be a good man for me. He can still be he can still be a good person, but you have to have other qualities in order to be relationship material. You can't just be a good person, because there are plenty of good people who are single. You know, just because you're a good person doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good in a relationship.
Wake that up.
So being a good man is subjective based off of the person that's considering you as a good man?
Well, we know that people define good differently depending on who we're talking to. Yeah. I know men who will say that they're good men because they don't hit on a woman, but they cheat. You know, I know men who say they're good men because they don't cheat on a woman, but they hit her. Right. I know men who say they're good men. They don't cheat. They don't hit on a woman, but you know, they don't know the concept of attending to each other's emotional needs. You know, they're the type that just pretty much go to the man cave and come out when they want to have sex, and then that's that's it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, but they're not out here killing people, right? So technically, yeah, he a good dude. He ain't out here really hurting nobody, but he's a shitty husband. He's a shitty boyfriend. You know, so it just it requires there's a little bit more to it to make him relationship material.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it takes a little bit more than to just be a good person and be a good relationship partner.
I like what Jarvis said earlier. I like what he said earlier, and I'm gonna get it from you in a second, Kev Pryor. Shout out to Kev Pryor. I like what Jarvis said earlier about, you know, being a good man is about being is also having emotional intelligence, right? And being able to identify when to go high, when to go low. You know what I mean? Being in sync with your significant other to know when she's doing this, I need to do that, right? That's being emotionally intelligent, right? And knowing how to find your way around and move in and out the pockets of being what your significant other needs you to be at that time. And for it to work, she needs to be doing the same thing and vice versa. We got Kev Pryor with us.
Agreed.
Great. I'm happy you agree. You know, I know a little bit about a little bit. At least I like to think so, Diva. We got Kev Pryor with us. We got Kubi as well. Tap in with us. We got Shanae. We got some giants up here with us this evening. Shout out to the YouTube viewership. Everybody hit that like button on YouTube. Hit that like button. Clubhouse, scroll to the top. Hit that link and hit that like button. Kev Pryor, man. Greetings, King. How you feeling? Happy New Year's, brother.
Salute, my brother. What's going on, man?
We're having a conversation tonight, Kev, and season premiere live on Broadway podcast, episode 600, season 6. And we're having a conversation about, is being good enough to be in a relationship with a man?
Well, you know what, Broadway, I think, you know, and you've known me for a while, I subject everything to what, from a marketing and social perspective, brings it, right?
Sure.
So I think, again, we've been programmed over the last 20, 25 years that the, you know, good guys, you know, finish last. The bad boys are where it's at. Ladies want a street cat. I think we've been programmed into that form. A lot of women have been programmed to that form, and men have been programmed to that form to try to act something they're not. So I think sometimes people perceive good to being weak. And I think that's where the problem sometimes can lie. Like somebody says, oh, he's a good guy. I mean, he's a weak guy. It's a good guy. Or maybe he has a job and, you know, he lives in a studio apartment and he takes the subway.
He's modest. He's humble, right? These are words that's associated with being good.
Right, but dog whistle meaning weak or not superior or not sufficient enough for somebody. Not to mention that relationships today, because of social media and technology, women and men are dating off the Cheesecake Factory. So it's like you sit there all day long trying to pick what you like and what you don't like, what's good, what's not good. And, you know, you don't know what you want because there's so many options. Not to say options is a bad thing, but sometimes, you know, when you have options and too many options and you getting, you know, the peanut gallery, your friends, or somebody telling you need this, and somebody saying, well, he only makes $80,000. You live in New York, you got to have 125. And then somebody says, well, you know, he's got a kid. Oh, but, you know, that was 20 years ago, but I don't want nobody with kids. When you start to break things down, it becomes confusion, right? My mom always told me confusion is the devil, right? So when things start to get broken down, when you become overly confused or overly not undecided on what you really want out of yourself, that's when you can't decide. You can't make a decision. You can't focus on what you even know what's good, bad, or indifferent for yourself. So I think, again, sometimes you have to look in the mirror, kind of close the noise down, and ask yourself what you want. Now, somebody might say, "Listen, these are non-breakables. This man or this woman's got to have A, B, C, and D. And if that's what it is, then great, stick to that. No matter what it is, you earned that." But again, if you see A, B, C, and D in an individual, but your friends or a relative sees E, F, don't worry about what EF is, because it's not your A, B, C, and D. That's not their problem. That's your love matter. Your mirror fits. It reflects perfectly. So I think, again, we just have to realize that we can't let other people dictate what's best for us. You know, like I can't eat seafood. You might love seafood, Broadway. Seafood to kill me. So
Right.
So again, perception is fish is bad for me. fish might be good for you. So we have to realize that when it comes to dating relationships, and realize that if just because the man is not, you know, what you perceive to be on TV, doesn't mean he's not good for you. And you know, if it matters to you, then you go with that. If not, then you know, sometimes some women are just they're comfortable, just keep waiting for that bus that has no passions on it, and that might never come.
Wow. While I got you, Kevin, you on the roll. Diva, our Diva on Instagram put something in the chat. She said it takes more strength to be good than the other way around. Would you agree or disagree?
Well, I mean, I guess to an extent, it's not a right or wrong answer. I just think that unfortunately, as society has changed, how media and perception has, especially within the African American community, has given us this image. It's like you have to be something you're not. I'm watching an NBA player, John Morant, a guy making over almost $30 million between sneaker contracts and basketball, running around with gangsters. You don't have to perceive that perception because you've already made it. Why do we feel like in society, a lot of us feel like we have to play a role? Part of that's because, like I said, the good guy is weak. And again, it's not on the surface, it's subliminal. Like, oh, he's a nice guy. You hear it Broadway. Oh, he's a nice guy. What that normally means to a woman when a woman says that. Oh, he's nice. That means she ain't messing with him. It just, let's call it what it is. I mean, so unfortunately, the nice guy who has, who maybe feels like y'all been raised right. I open doors. I walk on the side of the street for the woman. I do all the right things. He's being perceived as that sucker. He's perceived as being that, that dude to steal on. Like, oh, he ain't got it. So when he brings it out, and I'm not saying all these situations are right, but when he brings out extra masculinity, or he's trying to define himself in a way that's really not him, he might get reception back, but necessarily that's not who he is. That's his representative, and that doesn't last long. So I just again, going back to tied up in a bow, I think again, if you find a man that's going to do the right things, and treat you right, and this is the way you've been raised, that hey, your mother, your father, your family said, listen, you want a man that's going to be able to honor you, take care of you, and try to give everything he can, whatever he can. If that's not good enough for you, then I don't know what to tell you.
Period. Oh man, listen, let's wake up and go into final thoughts. Let's wake it up and go into final thoughts. Oh man, tonight we had a conversation about, and thank you for that, Kev Pryor, because you definitely was dropping bombs. I ain't dropping enough because I didn't want to mess up the sound, but you definitely was on one. Shout out to Kev Pryor. So final thoughts. I'm gonna go around, not in any particular order, but I want to get it from everybody. Final thoughts. I'm gonna play the clip one more time and get you guys' point of view on this, and I definitely want to hear how you guys respond to it. Final thoughts, live on Broadway podcast. Tap in with us.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
we will talk.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean like he's good. That means all around. That means himself, spiritually, mentally, physically.
That's great.
Healthily, like he's a good man.
That doesn't mean that he's the man for you. And
right.
Maybe when you're going through these motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like, he could be funny, but he's not funny to me.
And that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man, because he's a good man, but because he's not funny, you gotta throw that out.
Wow. Live on Broadway podcast. Tap in with us. Final thoughts. I'm gonna throw it to you first, Diva. Big Diva, tap in with us, Queen. How you feeling? Gorgeous. How you feel? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Okay. I guess can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I guess the only thing I would say is work on being a good person, period, regardless as to whether or not it, it gets you whatever it is that you're looking for. Just work on being a good person. And then if you want to get into a relationship with a person, take that good energy, understand the person that it is that you want to be with, and figure out whether or not the two of you are compatible. Just if it works out, great. If it doesn't, that doesn't mean you're not a good person. It just means that you weren't a good person for her or for him.
Or for her. Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's all.
I like that. Shout out. Live on Broadway podcast. Tap in with me, Clubhouse. Go for it. Final thoughts.
All right, so I'll go. What's up, y'all? I would have to agree with the young lady that spoke before. A woman will feel like a man is not good enough for her and deem him not a good man when she is not good with herself. Women tend to have checklists, and if he doesn't check the boxes,
break that up.
If he has 4 things right and 1 thing is wrong, then that will cancel out everything, and that's just not how it should be. Quite honestly, I'm not saying that not to pay attention to all the things, because all the things that you want should be what you should get, right? However, it also has to be with, if these things are interchangeable and not deal breakers, then you can absolutely go for him. And if not, let him go. Because the bad part about that is, if you feel that he is not a good man for you, you are going to turn him bad and therefore making him bad for somebody else. Don't taint somebody else by keeping them. Let them go.
Wow. I mean, Allison, baby, you have something to say. D, tap in with us, King. How you feel? Final thoughts on D. D, you by your mic, Annie? Are you okay? Jarvis, one time, beloved. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go for it then, D. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts on it still remains the same as being good. I mean, it's subjective, so you'll be running around all day trying to switch your character out, trying to fit into people's boxes and in their relationships. So I say, similar to what the first young lady said and a little bit of what Allison said, just be the best you, and whoever is for you, I mean, it'll work itself out. But I don't think trying to figure out, and this is from a what I used to say. I used to consider myself a good guy, and then I realized that didn't really work out too well for us. So I just said, I'm just going to just be who I need to be, and I'll leave it like that. So I think people just need to just know that there ain't no other good women either. Let's just wake that up. Like, it's just women, and whoever works for you works for you.
Wake that up.
I know that's right. I have a question, but I'll save it for my time around. Tap in with us, Jarvis. You by your mic, King? You got off the phone with a good woman? Hello? No? Dr. Lene. Tap in with us, King. How you feel? Final thoughts.
Nah, I think that being a good man is really subjective.
Okay.
It all depends on who you're dealing with. I don't think another man can tell another man you're a good man. Only women can determine you're a good man or not, because then you're good for them.
Hello.
And things like that. And so I think that that's very important when we look at that. Being a man, men just need to focus on your purpose and find a woman that aligns with it, and you'll be okay. I'll end on that.
Love that. And Doc, while we got you here, what's your background? Are you?
Well, for me,
yes.
For me, I have a doctorate in Homeland Security and Coordination.
I love it. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Very, very, very great points you added to the platform and the conversation. Tap in with us, Kev Pryor. Final thoughts.
To tie it up in a bow for me, the good person perspective has to be the good person you look in the mirror, and realizing that you're worthy of who you are first. And if that's good enough for you, then your light will shine to the right person. A lot of times, again, I'm not bringing the social aspect. We try to put square pegs in round holes because we see things that we think we like, or we see the aesthetic. If you feel good about yourself in the morning and you comfortable in your perspective and you comfortable in the man or the woman you are, then that should be good enough. Because now that energy and that that glow you have for yourself will shine. Again, if you don't feel good about yourself, if you're always trying to fit yourself in what somebody else's narrative is, you'll never be satisfied because you're not real to who you are. If you're real with yourself, somebody's got to see it. They don't see it. That's shame on them. Just keep it moving to somebody you find. It's a
Go
lot
where
of
you
buses on the
celebrate it,
street.
not tolerate it, huh?
Exactly. Well said.
I love that. I love that. I love that. One time, Storm. Final thoughts on you, Queen. One time, Sammy. Where you at? Final thoughts.
Love and light. No, just kidding. No, I really want everyone in the world, not specifically men, to like really take the time to love on yourself.
Yeah.
And take it day by day. And don't really be too hard on yourself, but every day do something that your future self will thank you for. So even if you have women out here that's taking you for granted and don't appreciate the good man that you are, that doesn't mean that you are not valued. You have value. Black men, we love you especially. So I think that continue being a good man despite what this generation or what these women are trying to get out of you. And I think that's the hardest part for a lot of men, is that if no one sees the value in them and they're constantly running into blocks, that they feel they're not of value. So I think everybody just has to take it day by day.
Wake
and
that up.
Be a good person.
D, did you catch all of that? Regardless of whoever F's you over, continue to aspire and inspire to be a good man. You get me? Tap in with us, Shanae, final thoughts. Let me easy off of D. Shanae, final thoughts. Shanae, you by your mic? All right, Shanae not by her mic. One mic on Broadway, final thoughts. So here's the thing, right? I think a lot of you guys added a lot of value, and it's probably going to be an echo chamber. So let me strive to say something a little bit different. I think that being like I said earlier, I think being a good man or woman is subjective, right? We're speaking about men, so I think being a good man is subjective, right? I think that when it comes to, I really like what Kev Pryor said. Go where you're celebrated, right? Like I always say at the end of every podcast, it's cheaper to be yourself. Like that's not just a saying, right? I really mean it, right? Like you'll pay way less just being who you are and finding your tribe and being attracted and letting whoever you are attract to that, right? Being attracted to that. Your tribe might not be your family, respectfully, disrespectfully. Hello? It might not be. Sometimes our tribe isn't always our family. Sometimes our tribe isn't always those that we grew up with. Sometimes our tribe are those that sometimes Kev Pryor uses the saying all the time of, you can't fit a circle peg into a round box, or however he says, excuse me, I'm messing that all the way up, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Go where you are celebrated. Be around that. And when you're around that, that's how you quantify what's good, right? Because you want to be around people that are like yourself, people that think, move, and on a base level, you want to be around that. Once you start getting too familiar with that, then you want to branch out a little bit or be around something else, because you can't grow if you only around what you know, right? Boss. I think that the dog whistle for good men, right? And I don't like that. I don't like when somebody tells you to be humble. Excuse me. I don't like when people speak and say things like be modest and safe and maintain. I'm not trying to live a life of maintaining and being. No, I want to live a wealthy life, right? Me personally, and I think that between the clips that were played earlier and a lot of you guys' commentary, I think that being safe, women identify safe as being good as being safe. And I don't think they always one and the same, because you can have a person that makes a lot of money, that has a great sense of humor, that has a career, that is respected by their mother and they respect their mom, but they just an asshole. And we all know two kids that's raised in the South in the same house under the same parents, they can go in a different direction to be two different kids, right? I want to play you guys something before I wrap up tonight's pod, because it kind of runs concurrent about the dog whistle, about the dog whistling, right? Live on Broadway podcast. We'll end it like this.
Forget all that humble. Humble mean to me, don't celebrate the great things you're doing for yourself too much, because it might make me insecure.
Oh, say it.
So don't say that. Be humble. Tell you be humble because you did some extraordinary. Oh yeah, you gotta stay humble. No, you stay humble.
You stay humble.
And you keep your humble which you not doing.
Just waking it up. Live on Broadway podcast. I appreciate everybody tapping in with us tonight. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate the commentary. I appreciate you, Diva. Shout out to Allison DWI, Dr. Lene, Kev Pryor, Storm, what's happening with you? My guy Jarvis pulled up earlier. Shanae, I see you. And last but not least, Sammy, you know the vibes. Live on Broadway podcast. Y'all know my vibe. Y'all know my body. It's cheaper to be yourself. Be giant. Pooh!
Clip!
Do you have relationship questions you need answered? Or spicy topics? DM us at Live on Broadway Podcast. Have music, products, or an ad you want us to run? Email us at Live on Broadway Podcast. Be sure to tap in. Mondays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live on IM_Broadway's Instagram.